Everyone is speaking out about this. Doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. Might as well get used to it. How aggressive do you want to be? Seems like the question to answer. Let's talk about it. Welcome in to Devils Digest. For all the latest news, rumors, updates regarding the New Jersey Devils, hit the subscribe button as 46% of you are not yet subscribed. We want you all here. Let's have a fun summer, fun Devils offseason. Now, there's definitely been some chatter over the past couple days. Tom Fitzgerald and Sheldon Keefe had their exit interviews. Kind of gave, what they want to do during the offseason, what they want to look like next year. They mentioned there's going to be change. They just got rid of 2 of their coaches. There's some contracts that need to be signed. There's some things that maybe need to be resolved in terms of how the season went last year. I don't think they were probably looking for a 5-game exit in the first round of Carolina. 42 wins, 91 points. Wasn't enough. Now, this feels like, looking at what was talked about in the exit interviews. And one player who's going to be around the Devils for a little bit, hopefully a little bit closer soon enough. His name was brought up because comments by his general manager went out, and it's just going to keep going. Here's Tom Fitzgerald's response to Jim Rutherford's comments about Quinn Hughes and potentially going and playing with his brothers. I'm not going to speculate on a comment of another team's player. We're going to evaluate our own team where we need to upgrade on some things. Yeah, I can just tell you right now, there's 31 teams that need to upgrade and add a Quinn Hughes. He's just one of those players. He's a top 2 defenseman in the league. He can change a game by himself. Players like him don't come around too often unless you're drafting them. They don't come around in trade talks. They don't come around in free agency. He's one of those players that, it's exceptional position to be in. And one of the weird things about this is, when you have one of those players, there usually isn't one other team that has leverage. And the Devils have the leverage. They have the other 2 brothers. They need to add a Quinn Hughes. It's kind of like, when you go to Chick-fil-A and no matter what you order, whatever you order, you need the Chick-fil-A sauce or it's not the same. It's a little bit better. The Devils would be a lot better with a Quinn Hughes. Now, I'll bring up the original comments from Jim Rutherford. Quinn Hughes, has said before he wants to play with his brothers. That would be partly out of our control, in our control, if we brought his brothers here. Yeah, I don't think Tom Fitzgerald's doing that. I don't see... Now, there's obviously going to be mock trades. I don't see a situation where Vancouver can put something up for both Jack Hughes, Luke Hughes, and Quinn Hughes. Because that's what Vancouver's position is. They're not trading for Jack Hughes and Luke Hughes. They're trading for Jack Hughes, Luke Hughes, and Quinn Hughes. Because right now, Quinn Hughes' contract up in 2 years, both brothers will still be here. So you're pretty much trying to trade for all 3, while New Jersey goes, well, we can go and trade for him now, or we can just wait 2 years. He'll be here in 2 years. We'll have him. We'll have a top 2 defenseman in the NHL. We'll have a game breaker, and, we'll have both his brothers, and, we'll have that all signed up. That'll be okay. That's where the question comes into play. How aggressive are you willing to be? Because you think about Tom Fitzgerald's situation and his tenure so far in New Jersey. He's got 2 playoff appearances, and he's been past the first round once. You look at the type of team he was handed. Rebuilding team, 2 first overall picks he's had. He's had a chance to make a 2nd overall pick. He signed, one of the biggest free agent signings in Devils history in Dougie Hamilton. He's done a bunch of things, and it's accumulated to 2 playoff appearances and 1 first round win. So when you look at where Tom Fitzgerald is in terms of himself and the way that what he needs to do to keep his job, his position as general manager, first time he's been a general manager with a team, he's got to win. I mean, the bar is up. You've had a playoff appearance. You've won a round. But the past 2 years have been worse. This year, I mean, a lot of years, 91 points doesn't get you into the playoffs. 5-game series with Carolina, a team that looked like a Stanley Cup team early December. I mean, Tom Fitzgerald talked about it during his press conference. He said, we kind of had to figure out what went wrong after December. There was a point where we had, 7 straight games with 20 shots or less allowed. Second half of the season, you'd probably dream for something like that. 20th in the NHL in scoring. Third best power play. Those don't add up. 5-on-5's a problem. Scoring was a problem. Up front scoring was an issue. Depth scoring was an issue. You got to find a way to improve your team. And when you get handed something like this, Quinn Hughes, who wants to come play for you, you got to find a way to get it done. And I assume with what Tom Fitzgerald is thinking is kind of a little bit of what I just said in terms of what the expectation is, how we can make these expectations even better and, actually get them. It's looking into making a trade for Quinn Hughes. Now, you think about what the Devils have to offer Vancouver. They do have 3 second-round picks this year. Now, is a second-round pick getting it done for Quinn Hughes, even though it's, even if he would leave in 2 years? Absolutely not. I mean, Jim Rutherford still has a job to do, too. He's going to try and get him signed, but, at some point, it's like he said, it's out of his control. I don't see, something like that happening. What I would probably say, and players that could be, in trade talks for Quinn Hughes, are players like Nemec, Dawson, Mercer, younger players who have potential. They have potential to keep getting better. They've shown it before. Dawson Mercer had a 59-point season. Nemec is a former second overall pick. Looked like he could play in the playoffs. I mean, that's what I thought when I saw him play. Arguably their best defenseman during the playoffs. Vancouver, well, they're definitely going to need a defenseman now, but even if Quinn Hughes were to stay, they already need defense. So the Devils have a ton of defensemen in the system. You're talking Antoine Siliev, Seamus Casey, Nemec. Their top 6 of defensemen are already signed. I mean, go ahead, look at it. That's their defensemen that are all signed. I mean, there's not too much room on this blue line. They have, they have a way that they can get rid of players to bring in a Quinn Hughes. Now you look at it and you go, oh, well, we're all signed. How are we going to make Quinn Hughes work? Well, you find a way to make Quinn Hughes work. If you have to get rid of some of those defensemen, we've seen rumors with, Dougie Hamilton, Nemec, obviously. If you have to find a way to get rid of one of those defensemen or a couple of those defensemen to get Quinn Hughes, yeah, you do it. It makes sense. But the Devils, they have, paths where they can trade some of their farm. They can trade a young player like Dawson Mercer. They can get it done, at the draft if they wanted to. Now, like I said, second-round pick, yeah, it's not going to work. You're going to get laughed at. But when you start talking about a former second overall pick, a player who's put up 59 points, 28 goals in a season, still young, good contract, it starts to make a little bit more sense on Vancouver's end when they don't have the leverage. Like I said, they are trading for Jack Hughes, Luke Hughes, and Quinn Hughes. Devils are just trading for Quinn Hughes. Go make it work. If not, 2 years. But I have a good feeling that Tom Fitzgerald is going to try to go into next season with Quinn Hughes because he understands where he's at, where this team's at. This team needs to get better. He needs to have a little bit more success in the playoffs. Sheldon Keefe, obviously, new coach. You're on another coach again. So I think, see Quinn Hughes, fans will be happy. Team will be better. and the Hughes brothers will be happy. That's important too. Let me know what you think down below. Do you want to see a Quinn Hughes trade now, or do you think we wait 2 years? You don't want to give up the prices. Throw some mock trades down in the comments. Let me know. Hopefully hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys really soon. All right, take care, guys.